She studied it by the candlelight that burned from iron stands around her, wax dripping like stalactites. She was quiet for a long moment. A bead of perspiration began to trace my back, and I felt anxious until she grinned, her yellow teeth gleaming in the firelight. "Yes, I am unchanged. What a relief." She laughed, but the sound was far from reassuring. My blood hummed with warning. I gathered my supplies, tucking them into my leather satchel, eager to be gone. I couldn't judge the time of day since Mazarine had the curtains drawn, but I sensed that afternoon was waning. I needed to get home. "A magician and an artist," Mazarine mused, admiring my sketch of her. "An artist and a magician. Which one do you desire to be more? Or perhaps you dream of learning Devaya magic and combining the two. I would indeed like to see an enchanted drawing of yours someday, Clementine." I hefted the satchel strap onto my shoulder, standing halfway between her chair and the double doors. I didn't want to say that she was right, but she had an uncanny sense of reading people. She had also watched me grow up in this town. Since I was 8, my father had instructed me in Avertana magic, a defensive magic that lent its strength to spars and duels. We often faced spells bent by malicious intent, which made for dangerous and unpredictable situations, such as the new moon nights. And I liked Avertana more for those things, but I also had started thinking of the other 2 studies of magic, Metamara and Devaya, but Devaya in particular. To take one's skill and create an enchanted object was no simple feat, and I had read of magicians who had devoted decades of their lives to reach such achievement. I needed more time to hone my craft of art before I tried to layer magic within it. I had taught myself how to draw and had gradually become proficient with charcoal, as art supplies were hard to come by in this rustic town. But I knew my experience was lacking, and there were many other branches of art waiting for me to explore. "Perhaps one day," I replied. Was all Mazarine said. She at last rose from her chair with a slight grunt, as if her bones ached. I always forgot how tall she was, and I waited while she crossed to the other side of the room, where a bureau sat in a darkened corner. I listened to her open the drawers. I listened to the chime of coins as she gathered them in her hand. "You claim I am unchanged," she said, coming to meet me where I stood. "And yet you are not, Clementine. Your skill is improving in magic as well as art." And she extended her fist, knuckles like hills, veins like rivers beneath her papery skin, fingers full of coins. I turned up my palm, and she paid me double, more than she had ever bestowed upon me before. "This is very generous, Miss Thimble." "Your father and that housekeeper of his who looks after you may not like me, but you are the only one in this town who does not fear me, and I reward such valor." I held her gaze, hoping my wariness wasn't shining like ice within me. "Let me walk you out," Mazarine said with a sweep of her arm. "The day grows old, and you must prepare for tonight." But she didn't move, and I sensed she wanted me to precede her. I led the way to the double doors, and she remained 2 steps behind me. We passed a mirror hanging on the wall, which I had never noticed before. Its frame was golden and elaborate, fashioned as vines and oak leaves. I saw my reflection, a girl with a smudge of charcoal on her chin and thick copper hair that refused to be tamed by a braid. My gaze began to shift to the doors when I caught a glimpse of what walked behind me. Not Mazarine. Not the elderly woman I had drawn multiple times. She was something else, tall and broad-shouldered, her face creased and jagged like rocks, with a long nose that hovered over a thin, crooked mouth. Her skin was pale, and her hair was still silver, but it was long and wiry, and threaded with leaves and sticks and thorny vines as if she had risen from a forest. 2 horns crowned her head, small and pointed.